welcome back to another mathematics lesson. Today's topic is converting fractions to decimals. And decimals is just another way of expressing regular fractions as we know them. Regular fractions, by that I mean fractions that have numerators and denominators. All right? So we're going to start with a half. A half is 1/2. And remember, a fraction is just a part of a whole. So let's say you have a bread and you divide it into 5 slices. Each of those slices would be 1/5 or 1/5. Right? So if you divide that bread in 2 equal parts, then each part would be a half. So we deal with a half right here. So we're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. That's how we convert fractions to decimal, by dividing the numerator by the denominator. And the numerator is the top number, while the denominator is the bottom number. Yes, numerator, top number, the 1, denominator, bottom number, the 2. So we are going to divide the 2 into the 1. So the 1 is going to be the dividend and the 2 the divisor. Those terms we learned in earlier lessons. So you are supposed to be familiar with those terms. Divisor, dividend. So let us go ahead and divide. So the 1 is going to be the dividend, so it goes inside, while the 2 is the divisor, it goes outside. So we're going to say 2 into 1. You can't. Put a 0. Now to continue the problem, we're going to put a point here and we add a 0. And each time we have a remainder, we keep adding zeros until the problem is complete. So we're going to say 2 into 10, and that goes 5 times. 2 5s, 10. We don't have any remainder, so therefore our answer is complete, and that is 0.5 equals 0.5. If you are liking the video so far, please go ahead and give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed as yet, please do so. Yes, let's try 1/4 or a quarter. 1/4. So we're going to do the same thing. Numerator goes inside. So the numerator in this case is 1 and the denominator is 4. So we're going to say 4 into 1 we can't. Put a 0. Put a point here, and we'll put 1 here as well, because that's where the point is going to go in the answer, or the quotient. So we'll add a 0 here. We're going to say 4 into 10 goes 2 times 4 2s. 8, subtract 8 from 10, leave 2. And remember, each time that we have a remainder, we add a 0. And we're going to bring that 0 down to join the 2. So let's do that. So we're going to have 20 now instead of 2, because we're going to bring the 0 down. So let's do that. So now we're going to say 4 into 20, that goes 5 times. 5 4s, 20. 20 from 20, leave nothing. So our answer is 0.25. .25. So when we convert 1/4 or a quarter to a decimal, our answer is 0.25. All right, let's try another one. This time it's going to be 1/5 or 1/5. 1/5 or 1/5. Same thing applies. In this case, the numerator is 1, so the 1 is going to go inside. That's going to be the dividend, and the 5 is going to be the divisor. All right? So we're going to say 5 into 1. You can't. You put a 0. You put a point here. So you put a 0 here to continue working the problem. So we're going to say 5 into 10 goes 2 times, 5 2s, 10. 10 from 10 leave, nothing. So the answer equals 0.2. All right, let us look at 1 over 3 or 1/3. 1 over 3. So let us set it up. So the 1 goes inside and 3 goes outside. Remember, we divide the numerator by the denominator. All right, so let's work. So we're going to say 3 into 1. We can't. So we'll put a 0 there. Remember, we'll continue by adding a 0 there. Put our point up there because that's where the point is going to be. So we're going to say 3 into 10. That goes 3 times. 3 3s, 9. 9 from 10 leave 1. So we're going to add a 0 there again because we have 1 there. So we have to continue. I'm going to bring that 0 down. So bring the 0 down to join the 1. So we're going to have 10. So we're going to say 3 to 10. That goes 3 times again. So if you notice, this is going to continue. So we're going to have a line of 3's continue forever. So we have to stop at some point because we can't continue adding 0s and getting 3's. It's not going to stop. It's just going to continue. Because we're always going to have a remainder of 1. So 9 from 10 leave 1. And we're going to add a 0 again. So it will continue and continue. So this is what we call a recurring or repeating decimal. We can do two things. We can round this off to the nearest tenth. When we round off a number to the nearest tenth, we must have one place of decimal. How do we do that? We look at the number in the hundredth place. In this case, it's 3. So the rule is, if you are going to round a decimal to the nearest tenth, you look to see if the number in the hundredth place is 5 or more than 5. If it's 5 or more than 5, then you're going to add 1 to the number in the 10th place. So let's say this 3 here was, say, 5 or 6, 7, 8, or 9. Then the answer would be 0.4 because you would add 1 to this 3 here. But in this case, the number in the 100th place is 3, which is less than 5. So therefore, if you're going to round it to the nearest tenth, your answer is, answer equals 0.3. Another way you could put it, you could say answer equals 0.3, and you put a line over the 3 here, and that suggests that it is a recurring decimal. So that's another way you could put it. All right, let's look at this one. This one is 5 over 2. And do you notice a difference there? Yes, there's a difference. The difference is that we have an improper fraction. An improper fraction is a fraction that has the numerator bigger than the denominator. If you notice, all the previous fractions that we worked on, the numerators were smaller. In this case, it's different. So this is what we call an improper fraction. So when we work this out, we are going to get a whole number as well as a decimal. That's what happens when you convert an improper fraction to a decimal. You always get a whole number as well as the decimal. So let us set it out and work it out just like how we normally do. So this is equal to, and then we are going to put our thing there. So the 5 comes inside because the numerator always comes inside and the 2 goes outside. So we're going to say 2 into 5, that goes 2 times 2 2s, 4. 4 from 5 leave 1. So So we have a 1 there remaining. So what we do, we put a point here, put 1 up there as well, because that's where the point is going to fall in the answer. And bear in mind that the answer in a division problem is called the quotient. All right, so up here we have the quotient. So 2 into 1 we can't, so we add a 0 here, and we have to bring down that 0. So we're going to bring the 0 down to join the 1. So we're going to have 10 instead of 1. So that is 10. So now we're going to say 2 into 10, that goes 5 times, 2 5s, 10. 10 from 10 leave nothing. So that's that. So we are finished with that. So our answer is equal to 2.5. All right, so that's our final answer. So I hope it wasn't too bad. All right, all you need to know is that when you are converting fractions to decimals, all you need to do is divide the numerator by the denominator. The top number is the numerator, so you divide it by the bottom number, which is the denominator. All right, so in this case, it's an improper fraction. It's no different. Set it out the same way. The numerator goes inside just the same. It's just that when you have improper fractions and you're converting them to decimal, you're always going to get a whole number plus the decimal. All right? Thank you. Now we have come to the end of another lesson. I hope you have found the lesson interesting and useful. So please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And always remember to press that notification bell so that when a lesson is uploaded, you'll be the first to be notified. So see you in the next lesson.